What's up, everybody? It's your boy Cam. Big win for the Mavericks last night over the Brooklyn Nets. And your boy Cooper Flag finished with 27 points. But it's been an interesting year and a half for the Mavericks ever since Luka was traded to LA. But honestly, I just wouldn't mind if we missed the playoffs again. That way we have a good chance of getting like another maybe a top 10 draft pick. I don't know. Just injuries have been a problem again, but not as bad as last year. That we almost had to forfeit games. Hopefully, we won't have to deal with that shit again. But and now we got the Mavericks are going to be home for the rest of this week until Monday afternoon, and so tomorrow afternoon they take on the Denver Nuggets, and then they play back to back. So Thursday night they play the Utah Jazz, and then Saturday afternoon they play the Utah Jazz again. And then the next road game on Martin Luther King Day is in New York as they take on the New York Knicks. Like I said this before, that's my favorite road game to watch the Mavericks on TV. I just love Madison Square Garden. I love the atmosphere over there. But the Knicks fans are crazy and a motherfucker. See what I'm saying? But I mean, I was gonna want to go see that next week because I could have been leaving this weekend to go to New York, but honestly, it's just not a good time to go to see the Mavericks play New York right now. Plus, they don't win on the road, but they can win at home. And and honestly, in New York, it's too cold right now too. And the New York Knicks fans they are so aggressive and just crazy. But that's just how the East Coast is for you, and that's how New York works. New York is one of the most states that just loves basketball. Their fan base is just so freaking crazy. But I just can't deal with any Knicks fans harassing me or worse. I can't deal with that. It's like I said, that's just New York for you. If you love basketball, that's where you're gonna have to go. But let's talk about some other things. What's been going on right now? It is not surprising. We all know this was gonna happen. Anthony Davis is injured again. He ended up hurting his hand. That I believe it was. I can't remember exactly when it was last week. He that night he was injured, but I remember it was in Utah, and AD ended up getting his hurting his hand in the last 2 minutes of the freaking ball game, and that really hurt us. With the way he was grabbing his hand, it just didn't look good. It did not look good at all. It was just like, fuck, man, we're toasted. And then we lose the damn game. Here's the thing I don't get about the Dallas Mavericks. We beat these good ass teams at home, but lose to these sorry ass teams on the road. It's like it just doesn't make no damn sense, bro. We cannot beat the Pelicans on the road. We can't beat the Jazz. We can't beat the Kings, but we did beat the Kings the second time we played. But we can beat like the Detroit Pistons, the Houston Rockets twice, and we could beat the Denver Nuggets at home. But we can't beat these sorry ass teams on the road. Just don't make no sense, bro. Just like I said, the Mavericks are a competitive basketball team. Almost every single game they lost on the road was close until this past Saturday when they lost to the Chicago Bulls. And they ended up getting blown out by, I believe, by 18. But yeah, actually, it was. I remember now. It was a Thursday night when we took on the Jazz and ended up losing by 2. We kind of had a big lead. I think we believe we were up 6 or 7, and just blew it away like we did last time. The night before my birthday, we had like a big lead. The last 5 minutes just blew the lead away. So that's the problem about the road. The Mavericks has a big lead in the fourth quarter, and they just blow it away every time they're on the road and lose the game. That's what they do. Honestly, when they have a big lead and a couple minutes left, they just relax and then they turn the ball over at the worst freaking times, bro. They turn the ball over at the worst freaking times. It's like it's really irritating. It's like take care of the ball, but they're taking care of the ball at home a little better now, but on the road it's still real bad. They was ranked 30th in turnover rating, which was really really bad. That's worse for the league, but now gone down to 20. But that's still bad. Ranked 20th in turnovers. That's still bad for the Mavericks. And the news came out today that Anthony Davis is more likely to have surgery on his hand, and he could have to miss several months of basketball. And I saw an interesting tweet what Anthony Davis posted. Very interesting tweet. He said that to stop with all the lies and listening to the media, but I don't know what to believe from Anthony. I don't know. I mean, as of right now, I believe he's going to be missing the next couple months, and he's going to have surgery. I think that's what's going to happen. Is either he may not have surgery and just be out for 6 weeks, or he'll just be out for the next couple months. And then I honestly think this may be the last time Anthony Davis plays in the Dallas Mavericks uniform. I think might be the last time we might see AD in a Maverick uniform. It's just we should had not got him in the first place. You don't trade your franchise player at 1 o'clock in the morning for an injured prone player who can't even stay on the court for more than 5 games. It's like, you don't do that bullshit. What was Nico freaking thinking? So, I don't think this was Patrick Dumont's idea to trade Luka. I think this was more Nico's idea. This was Nico's idea to trade him. And then Dumont was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. Like, if Mark Cuban was the owner, I think he would probably have fired Nico if Nico came up with the idea to trade Luka. If Mark Cuban was the full owner of this team, he would have not let that happen, bro. I'm telling you right now, he would have not let that happen. It's like I said, it just shows like the league. Nobody's safe in the league. Anybody can be traded anytime. It's just how it is, and it shows you right there. It's the business at the end of the day. That's just how the league works. It's a business. It all comes down to money. That's just how it goes, bro. But just prayers for Anthony Davis. I love AD, but I think it might be time for him to retire. I hate to say that. I think AD might be on his way out the door and about to retire. But I don't think they'll be able to trade Anthony Davis now because he's injured and no one's going to want to take him because he can't stay on the court. I mean, there's guys, there's teams in the Eastern Conference that are interested in Anthony Davis. They always think that he's the missing piece for them to be title contenders. And I don't think he'll do it Detroit. And then now Atlanta doesn't even want him anymore. It's now what I just found out. And they would have to give up a couple of guys for AD, and I don't think Atlanta wants to risk all that. And here's the thing: there was a big trade that was made last week. Trae Young was officially traded to the Washington Wizards for C.J. McCollum, and I forgot who else they ended up trading for, but that was a pretty big move. And I think, it was Trae Young's time was up in Atlanta. It's just. And they were winning games without him playing, but when Trae Young was back, they just weren't winning. And I think Trae Young is going to be a good veteran leader in Washington, D.C. And they might make a little run and start winning a little bit. And now that Trae Young is there with the Washington Wizards, and they might be fun to watch. I think Trae Johnson and Trae Young are going to play pretty well together. I think that chemistry is going to work out pretty good between them two. You got both guys that can shoot. It's just that I think that's going to be a good duo right there. And the Wizards are real young, and I just hate have been a losing team for the past 2 years. It's like no one ever wants to go to Washington D.C. and play for the Wizards. They're not really all that great over there. They've had some decent years, but they don't ever pass the first or second round. That's just how the Wizards are. But personally, I wouldn't mind going to the Washington. If I was in the NBA, I wouldn't mind playing for the Wizards because my family lives in D.C. That way I can get tickets for the family and everything that can come see me play. But I wouldn't want to stay there too long because I want to go to a title contender team where I can have a chance to win the championship. If I was in the NBA right now. But like I said, man, I'm happy for Trae, and his time was just up in Atlanta, and I think Jalen Johnson might be the new, might be his team now. Now that Trae Young is out of there, it's just things just weren't working out real well with Trae in these past couple years. Only thing he did in Atlanta was go to the conference finals. That's the only time they did something, was get to like the conference finals and beat the number one seed, the Philadelphia 76ers in 7 games, was totally unexpected. And almost ended up beating the Milwaukee Bucks to go to the finals, but they ended up losing in 6 games to Milwaukee, and the Milwaukee Bucks won the finals that year. Crazy shit right there, man. That's some crazy shit. And let's talk about San Antonio Spurs. Honestly, I think San Antonio might be a sneaky team to look out for in the playoffs. And they're actually playing the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. They beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 3 times in a row with Victor Wembanyama playing. Honestly, I think the Spurs might make a run. They maybe have it's a 50% chance of them going to the NBA Finals. A lot of people might disagree with me, and that's fine, but I don't know. I think the Spurs team is pretty scary right now. If Wemby can stay healthy and he keeps playing the way he played, especially that first game against us in Dallas, this league is just in big trouble. Like, you can't stop a 7'5" guy with ball handling, can shoot from long range, fadeaway jumpers. You can't defend that. The Oklahoma City Thunder was doubling him almost the whole game, and then when they got to the fourth quarter, they was tripling the team in him. It's like you still couldn't stop him. They got some few stops with Wemby, but most of the time they just couldn't. I mean, you can tell the Thunder was just so frustrated when they couldn't stop Wemby on the court. Like I said, I have respect for Wemby. Like, ever since I watched him before he got drafted to the league, it's like, this man gonna be a problem once he gets more experience playing in the NBA. And then they end up, once they got when they made the move to trade for De'Aaron Fox, that was just a great move for the San Antonio Spurs. And the San Antonio Spurs are back to that winning culture like they did back in the day when Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and Ginobili was there with them back in the day. I feel like they're about to get back to the winning culture, and I believe the Spurs team could win a championship in the future. They can at least get one with Wemby if he stays healthy on the court. But we still got a long way ahead of us. We're in the middle of the season right now in January, so still got a while to go, and we'll have to see which just goes from there. But I do want to talk about some high school ball and everything what's been going on. And tonight, Arlington High takes on Bowie, and Arlington is struggling right now, and they have a lot of juniors right now on the team where I used to coach at as a volunteer a couple years back, and we'll see how it goes. And Bowie is actually really young right now too as well. Their head coach for the past 20 something years recently retired, and last year was his last season coaching at Bowie. He's been there for a long time, and I don't think they've ever went to state when he was coaching at Bowie, but they almost did 12 years ago, and they lost to DeSoto the game to go to state, and that was one of the best teams I've seen at Bowie. And then, of course, Kate Cunningham went to Bowie as well. He left his junior year and ended up transferring to keep forgetting the name of this private school he transferred to in Florida. But I watched Cade play when he was at Bowie, and he was good. And then you got Martin takes on Halton tonight in Halton, and that should be an interesting one. And actually, Grand Prairie is actually ranked in the state right now, and they haven't been that good since the year of COVID hit, and they only lost like 2 or 3 games that year, and they ended up losing the third round to Duncanville. And that was the best Grand Prairie team I've seen ever. That was like the best team. But this Grand Prairie team is pretty good this year. And of course, you got South Grand Prairie. They've always had been a good basketball program, and their head coach at South Grand Prairie has been there forever. And I know him real well personally. I've talked to him several times, and he's a very cool guy. And then they went to state before, and then they just couldn't win it. Yeah, South Grand Prairie is a very good basketball program. They're very disciplined, and and let's and this Friday night I do plan on going to see Martin play take on South Grand Prairie, and that should be an interesting one. And Martin ended up getting one of the best players from the state of Indiana, moving down here, and then the best one, the player that came from Indiana is actually his dad is one of the assistant coaches at UTA right now for basketball, and I think that's just really cool. And next week I could possibly be going, and then I plan on going to see Legacy play Lake Ridge, and that should be an interesting one. And Mansfield defeated Lake Ridge 86 at Lake Ridge last week, which was really, really crazy. It's like, wow. And that's a tough district. You got North Crowley, you got Mansfield that's good, you got Lake Ridge that's tough, you got Crowley that's tough. Almost everybody in that district is tough. And as a fact, Mansfield and North Crowley are the only undefeated teams in the district that's left. And they play each other next week on Tuesday night. And that should be a good one. And North Crowley, I think, is a state title contender. They have a chance going to state. And Isaac Hayes has been a baller. He's been hooping since on varsity since he was a freshman and started as a freshman. He's got a couple D1 offers. He's definitely talented to go D1. And I haven't seen Isaac Hayes play in person yet, but I definitely got to go check him out. Even maybe for a playoff game, or I may go see Mansfield play North Crowley next week. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure what game I'm going to try to go to next week. And I know I've been podcasting lately. I've had a lot going on, and everything's going to be all right. And it's just got to put your trust in God and put your faith in Jesus. Like, everything's going to be all good. But tomorrow night, the Mavericks is going to be a very tough one against the Denver Nuggets. Aaron Gordon came back, but Nikola Jokic is out for a couple weeks with an injury. And that's just, you hate to see something like that happen. And I think the Mavericks can win 3 out of 4 of their home games this week, and then probably won't even win next week against the New York Knicks, and just because we just don't show up on the road. We just don't ever show up. So it's just like, it is what it is. Personally, I kind of think we might just have to get ready for next season. Just get ready for another good draft pick, and then to build along with Cooper Flag, we get Lively healthy again next year. Hopefully he can stay on the court. And hopefully we won't have to deal with so many injuries like we did last year. And I just don't think Kyrie, if AD doesn't come back, I just don't think Kyrie's going to come back. I just don't think so. I just think that just personally they're trying to save Kyrie for next season. And then definitely want to see Kyrie play along with Cooper Flag. And I know Kyrie is not going to be the same anymore. And plus he's getting a little older now too. Just him having that ACL injury is really, really, really sucks, man. It's just, you just hate to freaking see that. And Kyrie just going down with the injury like that. Especially seeing it in person. My gosh, bro. I just said, man, this season's over with. We're done. I think they're going to shut down some of these guys the rest of the season just because there's been so many freaking injuries. It's just, we're done. But AD said he wants to come back just because he wants to trying to heal the city. And I don't blame him. He was like, nah, we're not going to quit. And I respect Anthony Davis for that. He may be injured all the time, but Anthony Davis is a great leader on the court and a great leader in that locker room. Especially Kyrie Irving. He's a great leader. And I just don't see the Mavericks trading him. They can't trade Kyrie. Cooper Flag needs that mentor. Like, all these young guys need that. And Kyrie is just a great leader on and off the court. It's just, Kyrie's a great guy. But I will see you on the next podcast, and hopefully we get win against the Denver Nuggets, and hopefully we get PJ Washington back soon, and he can hopefully just stay healthy, man.